Very nice. Even the back is nice. Really? Yeah, too.
Yeah, so I guess my sort of questions are, I don't really know anything about grandma or grandpa really in terms of their life and like their parents and how they grew up. So I was sort of curious about this past generation that I don't.
Great-grandfather, your great-grandfather, and my grandfather lives in Hong Kong with his two wives in a very, very big apartment. And when I was growing up, it's a very big family, the two wives, and his room is in the middle, so the whole floor has two apartments only, where we lived. And one is the east wing, one's the west wing, and each of the wives occupy one wing.
Did you refer to them both as grandma?
Great-grandma, and then the second grandma, I call them. Yeah, Grandpa was very wealthy, and then when my father got his own business, we were sort of living a life of also privileged, very privileged life. So in Hong Kong, when you're in a society like that, the parents always go to work, and then they entertain their clients, and then at night, it's when they come home maybe, if they don't entertain, and we eat dinner together, not that often, but so our life is centered around the servants who took care of us. I think once you want to ask about Papa, my mother concentrated a lot on education. So we would go to school. After we leave school at 3 o'clock, I would have many, many lessons. Every day is taken up by a lesson, ballet lesson, painting lesson, piano lesson, French lesson, horseback riding lesson. And then after these lessons, I would have dinner, and 8 o'clock the private tutor comes. The private tutor comes and she looks over my homework, and then she gives me extra reading material, like we would be reading Oliver Twist, David Copperfield, things like that. So my life has never been a life of after school you go hang out with your friends. So when I moved to New York, I met my friend in the elevator, and she said, well, do you want to hang out later? And I go, what is hang out? I've never heard of such a thing as hang out, because every day after school you have an extracurricular thing. And my mother's big on that. Ballet classes are very big because it gives you poise and posture. Piano lessons are very big. So it's all very cultural oriented, I would say. We have to learn a lot of culture and languages.
They said you could really freeze it. Yeah. It's not so nice to have it defrost.
What was grandma's sort of background? Like, what was her parents like?
Well, her grandfather was an ambassador to France. Grandma was a teacher when she got married, but her background is law. She went to law school.
I still don't understand this.
Yeah, I know. But that part I never knew until very much later.
Did she ever she never practiced?
Never practiced law. No, never practiced law. But she would be the teacher who the chauffeur takes to school, So she only taught for a little while after she got married.
What did she teach?
I don't know.
I just remember when we were in Thanksgiving in that Malibu house, she was just like talking about how some princess was coming to visit Hong Kong and was asking grandma to show her around. And of course, grandma, being so dramatic, was like, oh, me? Why me? Did you get, there are other stories like that, I imagine, but I don't know them.
Yeah, I don't know a
lot.
That
That one came out of nowhere, and
they're always
no one knew about that.
Celebrities and high.
But how are people knowing each other back then?
I don't know. If you were in that society, you know each other. Like the school I went to, 1/3 of the kids are from privileged families. So
yeah.
And 1/3 of my graduating class all became doctors and lawyers and engineers. So and when you have school reunions, the ones who became teachers never came because they're so embarrassed sort of because of what happened. I mean that they're not lawyers and doctors. That's all.
That's sad.
What could you do?
But it is pretty crazy that you still have reunions. Because
We have a very
it's our
strong-
primary school.
I started with these people. I started with first grade, but I still have few friends from kindergarten. You know.
Yeah, that's wild.
And we've known each other for over 60 years. I know, it's incredible. Strong alumni association. They were very dedicated. So I'm happy about that.